Hey guys, welcome to the AfterBuzz After Show for MTV's The Challenge. We are talking, well, I am talking, episode 14, Dirty Little Backstabbers tonight, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, I don't know if you've noticed, there's nobody directly to my left. There's also nobody at this table at all here tonight on this panel. Except for me, my co-hosts are a bunch of pretty little backstabbers tonight, leaving me here all alone. I am in an alliance with nobody, so I would not fare too well on tonight's challenge, so this is a very relevant name of the episode. Hey guys, my name is Jenna Bussier. I am just the only one here for you tonight, so I'll do my best and try to break down this episode for you. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussier. Okay, so tonight's episode 14, Pretty Little Backstabbers. We start at the Redemption House. We're having a little bit of fun. We have a lot of OGs in here, a lot of good people. This actually seems like the spot to be in. I mean, drama-free. They're having fun. They're running around town, partying, drinking, and now they're playing a little game where they're the redemption real world. So they're saying, oh, CT would be this person. Dario's the person that gets no camera time. So I'm finding this hilarious. We have Jemmy, Anissa, CT, Cara, Leroy, so many fun people in this house. So if I'm in the challenge right now, hey, maybe losing isn't such a bad thing because you get to move on to the redemption house and not only get a second chance at the money, but get to hang out, be stress-free, and have some fun. This is a shot back from the dead that you never thought you would have anyway. So we're moving on to the challenge of the day. This is called Backstabber, and this is 3 balance beams suspended over water. This is a heights challenge. Again, this is heights and balance. You have to walk this balance beam that starts out kind of thick and then thins up, and 3 X's are in front of you, and you get to pick who on the balance beam you get to propel into the water, depending on which X you hit. So I love this. Again, of course, this plays into the dirtiness of the theme of this season. This is going to work in 2 different heats. So Hunter and Camilla won the last elimination challenge, so they actually get to pick what the heats are. So Camilla, to the surprise of nobody, picks the trio alliance. I think that this is coming from Jayla to sorry, somebody says the entire episode of the camera looking at Jenna. Great. I don't know if that's sarcastic, if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'll try and do my best. So the Jayla alliance has added a third. This is Tori. So now we have the triple alliance that is going in Heat 1. Tori, Jenna, and Kayla, and then Camilla, Veronica, and Brittany will go on their own because Camilla thinks that this is the best chance that she's got. Hunter has chosen just to go against Tony, and Tony thinks this is great, which it is great. This works in his favor because this is the person who's in his alliance, but at the same time, it's still every man for themselves, Tony. Tony is kind of saying, hey, as long as Hunter beats Derek's time, as long as somebody beats Derek's time, we're good here, which is true, but you still got to play for yourself, and you got to try and win the game. So Hunter goes against just Tony, and this is going to be the big dogs left in the house, Jordan, Derek, and Bananas, going all against each other on the balance beam, which this episode doesn't prove to be the best for Bananas. This is Johnny Bananas. He's been on this season for 15 seasons and has won 6 challenges total, and kind of slipping through the cracks in this episode, in the challenge and in the elimination. If you didn't watch the episode, I'm sorry, but you should have, but we'll get to that later. So we have them walking this balance beam. Jenna against Tori and Kayla, she hits Tori off of the balance beam because, of course, Kayla is still her girl. I think Jenna did great in this challenge. Obviously, you have to have great balance, but it seemed like nobody actually really struggled with this too much. Heights didn't play that big of a factor. Everybody was pretty speedy. I feel like everybody who was able to get to an X was able to get it in the nick of the time. And even when TJ wrapped up the challenge, he said everything came down to seconds. So it's Jenna and Kayla, or I'm sorry, Jenna and Camilla, who are the final 2 that win their individual heats. So it comes down to time, which I would have liked to have seen a a final heat. So I would have liked to see Camilla and Jenna go head-to-head, as well as Derek and Hunter go head-to-head, instead of it just coming down to time. I feel like that could have been a good tiebreaker and more of an instance for them to show their athletic ability and a head-to-head challenge. So Jenna ends up winning against Camilla. I'm so happy about this, especially after Jenna throwing Camilla last week and the mouth that Camilla had on her against Jenna after. And she feels like the challenge is kind of owed to her on a silver platter, and was just extremely over the top and rude and hypersensitive about being thrown into last week's elimination. So I'm so happy that Jenna puts her money where her mouth is and doesn't really have to play the political game and make friends with Camilla. She instead just shows her athletic ability, gets the job done, and Camilla is off to go back into the possibility of being thrown into the elimination. So Jenna beats Camilla, and Hunter is so lucky. This is exactly what Hunter needed. He's been thrown into the elimination time after time. Everybody's gunning for him in the house. This is him versus everybody, versus the big dogs now, other than Tony, his brand new alliance. But this is what Hunter needed, and he survives. He saves himself. He's protected, not going into another elimination. So we actually get to see Hunter sit on the side and watch the elimination this episode instead of being stuck in it time after time going against his friends. So good job for Hunter. I mean, honestly, he has truly proven himself. He has played great this entire time and has been able to come back no matter how many times he's been thrown into elimination, and continues to prove his athleticism, that he's a great competitor for seasons to come. So Hunter ends up winning this, and he beats Derek. And Derek was so close. I mean, it's sad to see Derek lose, especially being such an OG, but could have stepped it up a little bit. He could have gone a little bit faster on the balance beam, so Hunter ends up winning. And they now get to vote who goes into the redemption house. So Hunter, this is to the surprise of nobody again. Who do we think he's going to pick? He gets revenge on Jordan, somebody who has thrown him into the elimination against his friends twice. So Hunter, again, winning the challenge, saving himself is what he needed, and he also gets his sweet revenge, which he's been working so hard for, against Jordan, and gets to throw Jordan into the redemption house. And Jordan will go back in and face CT and Kara, who he decided to put in the redemption house. And now he is facing his bridges that he has burned. And then Jenna, it's down to Veronica and Tori. So no surprise here as well. She's obviously going to save her friend and the tip of the triangle on the Kayla, Jenna, and Tori alliance. So Veronica and Jordan headed to the redemption house. 2 more heavyweights, 2 more OGs going back into their redemption house, where everybody gets to see the challenge and come back to life again. So when this happens, like I mentioned before, Jordan faces CT and Kara, who he threw in previously, which neither of them are happy about, of course. Why would they be, right? So Jordan's argument is this is a part of the game, which I agree with. That was a smart move. They were trying to take out 2 big dogs, 2 top competitors, and Kara and CT. But he's very... he thinks that Kara is taking this too personally. And not sure what everybody else thinks about this, what you guys are thinking in the group chat. But I completely understand where Kara is coming from. Somebody personally said your name, and if they're coming back into the redemption house to face you one-on-one, you're not going to be greeting them with snacks and a bowl of candy. That was a horrible analogy. But you're not going to be treating them with hugs. How about that? You're going to be welcoming them in with open arms. Like, hey, best friend, I missed you. No, you said my name, and I remember that. You're the reason I'm here. So obviously I'm going to be mad to see you. But Jordan thinks that Kara is taking this too sensitive. But then it comes out that Veronica calls out Jordan in front of Jordan to his face and everybody else in the redemption house when Kara says, hey, you know what? Whose idea really was it to throw me in here? Was it Kayla or was it Jordan? And Veronica says, the first I heard it from was Jordan. Lays it out there, lays the chips on all of the tables, and full-blown calls out Jordan. So now Jordan goes on a rampage as if Kara didn't have have a reason to be mad at him in the first place. He then says, Kara, you think everybody wants to run a final with you. You're wrong. you lose it. Everybody, all the boys in the house would rather run a final with Camilla, he says, rather than Cara. Cara, who is a beast, who's an amazing athlete, super competitive, and has won 2 of these things and been on 10 seasons. And Camilla, who's in the way outside doghouse this entire season because of her temper, the way that she acts to people, and her outbreak on Leroy, the way that she interacts with everybody and her personality. He would rather run a final with Camilla, as if... But Cara loses it. That's why he doesn't want to run a final with Cara, because she loses it. So Jordan continues to think that CT has no hard feelings against him, and Cara is the one who's way out of line for feeling like this. But I personally feel, so not only did you put her in the redemption house, you also completely called her out, her athleticism, and insulted her personally by saying you would not want to run a final with her, as well as all the other guys. So long story short on this rampage, I think that Cara has a reason to be upset with Jordan. And eventually it gets to the point where it looks like it's kind of back and forth, fun joking. She's trying not to allow him to sleep in the room. It seems like they're kind of getting over it and joking with each other. Okay, so now back in the regular house, we have more drama. Lots of drama on this episode. This was a really great episode. It's a shame that you just have to hear my voice talk about it. Very sorry. I think Pamela would have done some really great country serenading if she was here. I'm sure everybody would have great perspectives on this episode, so I'm sorry for ripping right through it. But we go back into the regular house, and there's more Camillinator drama. So she starts crying to Jenna. She doesn't know what she did wrong, why this alliance is broken, hysterically crying to Jenna. And Jenna, I love Jenna for this, for not engaging too deeply into drama, because she, despite what everybody thinks, has a method to her madness and has made her decisions based on her game, which is smart, right? Everybody's in it for themselves at the end of the day. Camilla doesn't realize that all alliances are going to be broken. It's a dirty game. It's going to happen eventually. So Jenna said your name before you had the chance to say hers. And now you're going to go crying to her. How many seasons have you been in this game for, Camilla? You know how the game works. Everybody's not just going to bring out the red carpet for you to walk to the final. And something else I don't understand is her crying that she doesn't understand what she did. What you did was behave very disgustingly to as many people in the house. And from what it sounds like, off camera, things that we didn't see, Camilla verbally attacked several people, and that's not really an alliance that you want to be tied to. So how can you not understand why Jenna chose to say your name and throw you into an elimination? And also at this point, are we still on this? We're still talking about this elimination that you won? You won it. Come back into the house. Let your athletic ability speak for itself and stop trying to poke the beast and pry out all of these wounds with everybody. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so now we're going into the elimination deliberation. And we sit down, so Hunter and Jenna have to work collectively to decide who goes into elimination. But at this point, there's only 2 of them, and we all know what's going to happen if they don't agree. So pretty much, the girl picks the girl that she wants in elimination, and the guy picks the guy that he wants in elimination. So Hunter picks Derek. This is a fine, justifiable reason. Derek has said his name, so Derek is going in. And now Jenna, again, so happy about this, decides to pick Camilla, and Camilla still cannot understand. I mean, at this point, it's Brittany, Tori, Jenna, and Kayla, and Camilla in the house. Camilla, you're not really buddies with anybody. You keep pissing everybody off. You're not in an alliance, so who do you think's name is going to be called? So Camilla completely freaks out, as she does, and starts going at Tori. Tori's sitting on the couch there. What does Tori have to do with anything? The answer is nothing. Camilla's just pissed that she's not in an alliance and that she's going into elimination again and her name was said. So she starts yelling at Tori, calling Tori a nasty person, saying all these names. Tori tries to communicate back with her and Camilla keeps talking over her. So this is round 1 of what ends up being an extremely explosive fight between Tori and Camilla. And then I think that's all that happens at the elimination deliberation. Sorry, I have to go through my novel of notes here. Okay, so this breaks up, this goes into a separate room where it looks like Tori and Kayla and Jenna are hanging out, doing their thing, and then Camilla comes in and starts doing the Camillinator thing, starts running her mouth, and goes at Tori, and basically, Tori's saying, I did nothing to you. You are mean to everybody. Your behaviors speak for themselves. Why do you think that everybody dislikes you in this house? And Camilla starts making accusations. Jenna was such a nice person before she met you. All of this seems like a desperate cry for attention for Camilla. And it comes down to, I think this is something that Tori said as well, it just means that Camilla's scared and she's threatened. I don't understand why she keeps getting into all of these verbal fights when she's an amazing competitor. She doesn't really need to do the politicking side of things when she's coming back from all these eliminations. And she's people that she's a person that people are fearful of in an elimination or in a challenge. So her competitiveness kind of speaks for itself, and I don't understand why she thinks something is owed to her from the other people when she treats everybody else so poorly. So Tori almost freaks out, and it's incredible, and this is great to watch, has to restrain herself and leave the room before she hits Camilla in the face. And Camilla she's not getting it. I mean, you're pissing everybody off. What do you think is going to happen? So we're going on into the elimination. The double cross time. So we have Derek and... who got put in again? Camilla. Derek and Camilla are in elimination. Duh. See, I'm already forgetting. I'm losing it. There's so much stuff happened this episode. Okay, so Derek and Camilla are in the elimination already, and we have the double cross. In the double cross for the girls is Tori, Brittany, and Kayla, and then we have Bananas and Tony for the guys. So Tori is the one that picks the double cross. Well, actually, Brittany doesn't pick the double cross first, and she knows automatically she's screwed, which it's true. Look, you have Kayla and Tori, two of the best friends in the house, sitting next to each other. Brittany pulls it, and what I noticed, Tori and Kayla look at each other and give each other a nod. Like, all right, this is kind of obvious. She kind of lighten up on that. She knows she's going in anyway. And what I didn't like is when Tori decides to throw Brittany in, Kayla whispers to her, thanks, Tori. Like, everybody knows you have an alliance. This is kind of obnoxious. It seemed a little petty. And you know what? You should just take that in more of a humble way. Sit there in silence and just be thankful that you're not going into an elimination instead of kind of rubbing it in Brittany's face. So this will be Brittany versus Camilla in the elimination. Comes down to the guys' double cross. And this is Tony and Bananas. And all Bananas has to do is pull the double cross, and he takes 8 hours just to decide to pull it halfway out. And it cuts to commercial, and I kind of thought that Bananas didn't pull it because I thought you would see more of a reaction from Derek, more of a shocked face or jaws dropping from anywhere on the side. And it ends up being Bananas that does not pull the double cross, so he is automatically going in. So we got OG versus OG, Derek versus Bananas. This is what the people want. This is what we've been waiting to see. This is some original challenge drama and excitement right here in the elimination that we will see. Okay, so the elimination tonight is this real world, but not like before in the Redemption House real world. This is REEL real world, because they have, I must say they are getting extremely creative with these eliminations. They've now succumbed to a giant hamster wheel. I've never seen this before. This is it's extremely athletic and challenging, sure, absolutely. But they made it seem like this was the next new intense extreme competitive sport that we'll be seeing in the Olympics next year. The drama and the music behind this, I'm sure it was so physically taxing and hard. It was just kind of comical to see them balancing on this hamster wheel with all of the drama and metal music behind it like it's an extreme sport. So they have to wheel on this hamster wheel with 100 feet of rope that they then have to web around that wheel that will pull a weight across of the marker, and that will signify that they win the game. And it's Brittany and Camilla at first, and Brittany, I feel like before the elimination even started, she was a little bit checked out. You could see she was rattled. She was angry and upset. Her emotions were getting the best of her. She couldn't get over the wheel a few times and then was pretty much out of the game, mentally out. And Camilla looks like she wakes up and she runs on a hamster wheel every single morning for practice, for fun. Like, you'd think that she had done this 100 times before. She absolutely kills it. And what I liked about Camilla's performance tonight was that's all she did. She put her head down. She did well. She didn't really talk too much crap afterwards, didn't rub it into anybody's faces, and just dominated Brittany. And also another thing about the eliminations is it gets a little tricky because you know you're going into a redemption house. So you know that you have the possibility of a second chance. So it's almost less intense for us viewers watching because, you know, okay, even if you lose, it's not like my absolute favorite person is going home for the entire rest of the season. I'm going to see them again in the redemption house, and I may actually see them again in the regular house if they come out of it. So I don't know if it's like that for you guys or if it becomes less meaningful for you to watch eliminations, but it does seem to take a little bit of the heart out of it. And I don't think it's like that for the athletes because they still have to win to stay in the house, and it's not guaranteed they will come back. But I feel like it might play a part in, Brittany kind of said, I'm over it. I'm over this. Like the wheel just wasn't her day, and maybe she's hoping that she'll get a better chance at the redemption house elimination and that there's another chance for her to come back. So Camilla kills it. She's back in the house, and it's Camilla versus World. It's really funny to see her walking up there when it's just Kayla, Tori, and Jenna left up there. Literally, Camilla is the complete outcast. So the Derek Bananas showdown did not disappoint. This was really, really good. I mean, Bananas seemed to have the strategy and the tactic right out the bat. And it looked like he was actually going to for sure dominate Derek because he understood the strategy of trying to get as many spins and as many reps in as possible as soon as you get onto the wheel, where Derek was just kind of rolling and jumping, exhausting himself doing that over and over again and pulling less of the rope onto the wheel. But what's interesting about this is that Bananas, again, like I mentioned earlier, slipping through the cracks a little bit. I wonder if he's starting to get a little bit tired. His body's breaking down from 15 plus years of doing this show, but he has to take a rest during this and pause because he's so dizzy he feels like he might fall over. And that's when Derek, as any competitor would, takes complete advantage of that and goes crazy on that hamster wheel. Spins it 1,000 times in a row, gets all the rope, and Derek comes home with the win. And Bananas is going to the redemption house, which is very interesting to see somebody of that caliber go when there's still people like Tony in the house. So you have Bananas going back there with CT, Leroy, and Jordan, and there's a lot of heavy hitters in that redemption house with the possibility of to come back into the real house. So this is hard. I mean, we're going to get to a final, and there's only going to be one CT or one Bananas or Jordan. There's not going to be all of these guys going together. So this will be very interesting. I wish I could give you bolder predictions on who I think is coming back from the redemption house, because we saw on today's teaser that this is the last challenge for the redemption house next episode. So this will be when we see who comes out of that redemption house, hopefully for the last time, if we want to get to a final sometime this season, if people don't keep going back to the redemption house. But from the looks of it, it looks like a very strange redemption house challenge. All you see is basically human whack-a-mole. I'm not really sure what the concept is behind the challenge that they'll be competing in next week to come back into the regular challenge house. So it's hard to gauge, and this seems almost, I don't want to say disappointing, but it does seem that it could be a little bit disappointing depending on who comes out of this redemption house challenge, because it doesn't seem like it's going to be based off of pure athleticism or strategy or brains or any kind of typical challenge in the show, The Challenge. Whack-a-mole, human whack-a-mole, I'm not really sure what the concept is going to be here, but this seems like one of the challenges where maybe somebody who got lucky or is maybe less deserving than the person next to them is going to enter back into the house, because it doesn't have a lot to do with athleticism or having good strategy in the game. So I'd love to see CT come back, of course. I feel like it would be too obvious or too easy to say it's going to be CT and Cara. I mean, again, like this could be one of those where Anissa comes back, because last time it was an eating challenge and this time it looks like some kind of whack-a-mole thing. So Anissa could come back, Brittany could come back and knock down some of the bigger competitors like Cara or people that you would expect to come back. So this will be very interesting next week, and it looks like the season will start to get on a roll. So thank you guys. I see you typing in the live chat. Not exactly sure. I haven't been able to pay too much attention to what you've been saying. I'm sorry. Just trying to recap the episode to my best ability. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with me tonight. Sorry, I apologize. It was just me and my annoying voice the entire time. I will have to call out my pretty little backstabbing panelists next time, and hopefully they will be here with me next week. So again, this was the episode 14 of MTV's The Challenge Review here on AfterBuzz TV. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Jenna Bussiere. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere. Keep live chatting. Tweet at us. Let us know. Let me know how I did. Try and be a little nice in the comment section. Don't be too mean. All right, thank you guys. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.